everyone, my name is Kira and I'm with Girl Scouts of Northeast Texas, and I'm here today with my friend and fellow Girl Scout, Hillary.
Hi everyone, I'm Hillary and we are coming to you from Dallas, Texas with our service special. Because we're Girl Scouts and we are always striving to make the world a better place, Kira and I are going to be making videos every Thursday right here for you to be able to make different crafts or do different projects to help improve your community using things that you already have at home or that you can do in your neighborhood easily.
So for our first project, we are going to be making homemade cat toys for our local animal shelters. This is a really easy project to do with materials you probably have at home, and it's something you can do to add on to the Pets badge if you've started earning that. This is also a really special project for me and Hillary because we both have rescue kitties. This is Raisin. Hi, Raisin.
And my rescue cat is Stevie. He's not here today, but we are very excited to be doing something to help the cats in the animal shelters. Animal shelters are really important because they provide housing and food and care for animals that are waiting to be adopted. So this could be dogs or cats or other pets like guinea pigs and sometimes birds. But today we're going to be focusing on cat toys. And while many animal shelters have a small staff that help care for the animals, they do rely heavily on volunteers to walk the dogs, to play with the cats, to clean out the cages, and to donate things like cat toys.
And if you have any pets at home, you know that cats love toys.
Cats love toys so much that sometimes they tear them up or eat them or destroy them really quickly.
So that's why it's important for us to help restock the toys at our local animal shelters by making some homemade items with love that the cats can enjoy once they've worn out their older favorite toys. Welcome back. So today we'll be showing you how to make 2 different cat toys, and I'll be leading the first activity, which is to make a spider cat toy. So you're going to need the following materials: a pair of scissors. And if you're not old enough to use some scissors on your own, please ask an adult in your household for help. And then you'll need some old fabric. So this can be a t-shirt or a towel or an old bandana like what I'm using. Just make sure it's fabric that's safe for cats to chew on and possibly ingest. We don't want them to accidentally swallow plastic because that's not good for their tummies. And then you're going to need a ring-shaped item. So this can be a scrunchie or some hair ties like I've used in mine, or even the plastic ring from a milk bottle or a wooden ring that you've bought at the craft store. Just a ring-shaped item that has a diameter of about 2 to 3 inches. So go ahead and pause the video, and while you go get your materials, gather them up, and then come back and we will make a cat toy together. Alright, so now that we have all of our materials, let's get started. So step 1 is going to be to cut your fabric into strips that you can tie on your cat toy. So I'm using an old bandana that I haven't worn in a while, and it's great that I'm using this to make a cat toy for my animal shelter, but I'm also keeping it out of a landfill by repurposing it instead of throwing it in the garbage. So I'm going to start by laying my fabric out and measuring with a ruler a 10-inch section. So I've already got my bandana to be about 10 inches long. Then I'm going to roll my fabric so that it's about an inch wide or so. And I'm going to keep it rolling it up until there's no fabric left. You're going to want about 15 or 20 of these strips. So then I'm going to cut the creases of my fabric so that I can have a bunch of identical looking strips that are going to be used as the spider legs. So I've cut it one way, and now I'm going to cut on the crease of the other side. Voila! Now I have a bunch of different strips of fabric. So step 2 is to tie these strips onto your ring. So you can see I've used a couple of different hair ties that I'm putting together to make it a little thicker, and I've already tied a bunch of fabric, but I want to make sure it's completely full. So you'll take your strip of fabric and you'll loop it through your ring and you'll knot it 2 times. We want to make sure it's sturdy enough that the cats at the animal shelter can't just rip it off right away. We want it to last them for a little while. So you're going to want to tie it a couple times until it's totally full of fringe. So let's see if I can get one more on here.
Hey Kira,
Yeah,
what is a cat's favorite treat on a hot summer day?
I don't know, what?
Mouse cream cone.
Oh my goodness, that's a good one. So now I have my totally fringy spider ring. And you know that cats love string, loose pieces of fabric, anything that has a fringe, which makes this toy really attractive. Let's see if Raisin likes it. Let's see if he'll wake up from his nap. Look, Raisin, do you like your toy? He's a little sleepy.
All right, everyone, it's time to make our second toy. We're going to be making a wand toy. The materials you'll need are a stick. I found this one outside, but you can also use a bamboo chopstick or any kind of stick that is sturdy enough so that the cat won't break it when he's pulling on the toy, because we are going to be attaching some fabric to it. So you will also need some more fabric. I'm using this old scarf that I don't wear anymore. So again, trying to keep fabric out of landfills and repurpose it for our cats to enjoy. And then you'll also need some yarn or twine to attach it to the stick itself. You can see I made this example ahead of time. And then you will also need scissors again. So again, if you need an adult to help you with the cutting portion, please make sure that you have someone by you right now. So go ahead and go grab those materials, and then we'll get started making our wand toy. Welcome back. Are you ready to start making our wand toy? Great. So we are going to start with our fabric. We're going to cut out about 5 to 7 different shapes. They can be all the same shape. So what I've done here is I've folded my fabric over so that I can cut all of the shapes at one time. So folded it over, and you can do whatever shape you want. So I did squares on this one. You can do hearts, or you can make stars or triangles or get creative. I think I'm gonna try to make a feather shape this time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my scissors and I am going to cut out a teardrop shape. Hey Kira.
What?
Why don't cats like to play poker in the jungle?
I don't know.
There are too many cheetahs.
Ha ha.
Hey Kira,
What?
what did the grandma cat say to her granddaughter cat?
Stop eating so many mice?
You need to work on better posture.
Oh my goodness.
Alrighty, so I have cut through my fabric. I have a couple seams that I just need to, a couple creases that I need to cut through because we want them all to be individual pieces. Alright, and then I've got my little teardrop shape, and I'll go in and add just a few slits. Like Kira mentioned earlier, cats really like fringe, so the more texture I can add to this, the more fun the cats will have with it. But be careful not to cut off too much of the fabric, because you do still want it to be able to hold its shape, and you want it to be able to hang on to the hole that you're going to create, to connect to the yarn, to connect to the string, to connect to the stick, so that you have your wand toy. So we've got this fun little shape, and then I am going to make a hole right in the middle of the shape. I am going to go ahead and use my scissors to just kind of cut through into the fabric and see if I can make a hole. It's not working, so I'm gonna go one piece at a time actually, and just fold it over and cut a tiny little hole out. All right, so I went through and put a hole in the middle of each little fabric shape, and the next thing we need to do is get our twine or our yarn or our string, whatever we're using, to attach the fabric strips to your wand. In this case, I had some twine lying around from another craft that I had done. Make sure that you are using string that is made of natural fabrics, that's not going to be toxic to the cats. But also try to make sure you pick something that's sturdy, that's not going to break right away. So something like thread would probably break really easily. So going with something like twine or yarn is going to hold up much longer over time. So you want to have about 3 feet or a bit of room for the wand to actually wave around and drag around. I don't have a yardstick, so what I like to do is just measure out to the end of my arm to the middle of my chest, and I know that's probably somewhere around 3 feet. And I am going to cut the twine to that length, and then at one end of the twine I need to tie a knot that will hold all of the fabric together. So if you can see on my example here, I've got this big fat knot here, and that's what's holding the fabric on. So in order to tie a big round knot, what I do is I will loop it around. So I will cross this string behind this string, and then I loop that end, the short end, over 5 times. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm gonna push up the end of that and pull on the short end and put it all together, so that's one big fat knot right there. And then pull it tight, and that's how we make a super knot. And then we're going to take this string and we are going to thread through each of the individual pieces of fabric using the holes that I just cut out. So one at a time, here we go. Boop, boop, ba-doop, boop.
Hey Hillary, what's a cat's favorite movie?
I don't know. What is it?
The Sound of Music. Hey Hillary, what's a cat's favorite magazine?
I don't know.
Good Mousekeeping.
That's a good one, because they keep mice.
Why was the cat afraid of the tree?
Because he got stuck in it when he was a kitten?
No, because it was made of bark.
Ah! You know, I actually have a cat and a dog, and I wouldn't say they get along, but they do tolerate each other really well.
Hey Hillary,
Hey Kira,
how do cats stop crimes?
how do cats stop crimes?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
They call claw enforcement. What do you call a cat who loves to bowl?
I don't know.
An alley cat.
Ah!
Like a bowling alley.
Like a bowling alley. All right, I am down to my last 2 pieces of fabric. I am getting them on there nice and good. And then as soon as we're done with this, you are going to tie this fabric to your wand. So like I mentioned, my wand is just a stick that I found outside. It's a pretty sturdy stick, so it won't break easily. I did go ahead and take off as much of the bark as possible so there wouldn't be a bunch of loose bits just flying around. And if you have sandpaper and you want to sand it down a little bit, you can do that just to keep it smooth. Be careful and watch out for splinters if you are working with wood though. So we want to fix this to the end of the stick, and we know that cats sometimes like to play rough, so we're gonna loop it around a couple times to make sure that it is securely on there. And I went ahead and chose a spot on the stick right below this knot here to help give it some extra security. So if the cat is pulling on it, that knot is going to help keep it in place, so it's not going to fall apart immediately. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tie it here and use a double knot to keep that securely in place. And then that's that. We have our cat toy wand. Raisin, do you want to play with a cat toy wand? He is very sleepy. So now that you've made your first 2 toys, you can go and gather your friends and family or share this video with them to help them learn how to make even more cat toys so that your animal shelter can have a whole bunch for the cats to play with.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to check back every Thursday for a new service special with Kira and Hillary.